Welcome back, guys. So I have Nada, Matar, Danielle, Hania, Marim, Kiki, Basant, Mashali, Yauta, Samar, Shahd Ibrahim. Have I forgotten any names? Karim, Rashwan. Welcome all. Minna. So again, I have Nada, Matar, Danielle, Hania, Marim, Kiki, Basant, Mashali, Yauta, Samar, Shahd Ibrahim, Karim, Rashwan, Minna. Have I forgotten any names? Luji. I have Luji here also. Right. Okay. So I have 15 students. Maya. Yamal. So there are 17. Okay. Omar. Okay. Guys, in the first session, I have 4 absentees. I want just to make sure. Mirna joined us. Okay. The absentees of the first session were people who didn't show up at all. Hamid, Abul Farh, Jana, and Shahd Tamim. Am I right? Hamid, Abul Farh, Jana, and Shahd Tamim were the absentees of the first session. And so far, I have 20 students. I have Nada, Matar, Danielle, Hania, Mariam, Kiki, Basant, Mashali, Yauta, Samar, Shahd Ibrahim, Karim, Rashwan, Minna, Luji, Maya, Gamal, Omar, and Mirna. Okay, we reached the last character of the group, the host.
I'm here.
Yes, Omar.
Mr. Peter.
Peter?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay, Peter.
Yes.
Your name Peter, I think. No, I didn't write it down. Okay, Peter. Okay, thank you, Peter. Sorry.
Okay, I was in the last session as well.
This is Peter. Yeah,
Yes.
you attended the last session. You attended it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the absentees were again
Yes, yes, I did.
Abul Farh, Jana, and Shahd Tamim. Okay, and those who joined us late, I didn't consider them absentees, but please try to be punctual. And if the teacher is absent or doesn't attend the session, it's not your responsibility to, let's say, punish him or punish your teacher. It's the admin or the school administration responsibility. Money is taken from our salary if we are absent. But you as a student, the teacher is responsible for you, and he has the right to cut down some marks from you. You are not responsible for the teacher. I hope that you maybe, 2 months from now, you'll graduate, inshallah, and be like friends in the street. If I meet you in the street and if you meet me in the street, we want to have mutual respect. Please, maybe follow this advice with your parents first and then with your teachers, because your teachers are like your parents. I'm sorry to say that, because I noticed over the past month that some people are talking harshly with teachers. And again, I'm very angry with that guy who said it's not acceptable. And those guys who like this post, how come? Yani, a nice lady I respect very much, like he's saying to the teacher, it's not acceptable. And you like this, yani, instead of blaming him for talking in such a way. I'm so sorry. I won't talk to my dad like this. I won't talk to Ms. Gada like this. I won't talk to my teacher like this. I won't talk to you like this. Okay? Uh, sorry if I blame you for coming late. It's my responsibility. And you are not responsible for my being late or absent. Okay? Let's go on. I hope you all understand this and yani. Okay, now I have told you shortly in a clause the rank, the array, the number, and the cause. The narrator told us about 29 or maybe 28 characters so far. He didn't describe himself, and now he's describing the host, Harry Bailey, if you remember the name of our assembly in this company in Southwark, sorry, at that high class hostelry known as the Tabar. This is the name of the hostelry or the hotel or the inn, close beside the bill. And now the time has come for me to tell how we behaved that evening. I'll begin after he is going to tell us how it all started. We had alighted at the inn. Then I report our journey stage by stage, all the remainder of our pilgrimage. But again, he wants you, readers, to forgive him, to pardon him. I'd like to welcome Dahrug. Okay. Uh, Again, he wants you to pardon him. He begs, first, I beg of you in courtesy, politely, not to condemn me as unmannerly. Don't accuse me of being impolite or impoliteness. If I speak plainly, clearly, frankly, openly, okay, and with no concealings, I will conceal nothing. You'll find some bad, very bad language, which may be in some of these tales. We're going to study two tales only. As I told you yesterday, the wife of Bath's tale and the partner's tale. I think in the first session we stopped here. Uh, Maybe. No, we didn't finish this part. He said, if you tell a story, you should be as honest, as accurate as you can, however rudely spoken or unfit. Even if some rude words are said, you should report these words exactly as they were said, or else the tale he tells will be untrue. If you don't tell the story the way it was told, it will be untrue. The things invented and the phrases new, and you will invent, if you try to change the language, you will invent some new words, invent some new words and some new language, which will make the story untrue. He may not flinch, although, yes, Summer. Summer, you raised your hand by mistake. Okay, Summer doesn't answer, no problem. He may not flinch. Mm. Sorry?
It was by mistake.
No problem, no problem. He may not flinch, although it were his brother. If he says one word, he must say the other. And Christ himself spoke broad in Holy Writ. And as you know, there is nothing there unfit. And Plato says, for those with power to read, the word should be as cousin to the deed. Further, I beg, yani if you report something, you should be honest and say it the way it was said again and again. Further, I beg you to forgive it me. Agreed? Okay, he asks you again and again to forgive him for reporting the words the same way they were said. If I neglect the order and degree, and what is due to rank in what I've planned, I'm short of wit, as you will understand. Our host, let's talk about our host, and our host, the owner of the inn, the owner of the hotel where they stayed the night before they set off their journey. Okay, our host gave us great welcome. the host welcomed us. Everyone was given a place and supper was begun. Everyone was given a room and supper was begun. He served the finest victuals, food and drink you could think. The wine was strong and we were glad to drink. A very striking man, our host, withal, and fit to be a marshal in a hall. His eyes were bright. The man was generous and treated them nicely or well. His eyes were bright, his girth a little wide. There is no finer burgess in Cheapside. Maybe this is the name of a place. Uh, Bold in his speech, yet wise and full of tact. There was no manly attribute he lacked. What's more, he was a merry-hearted man, cheerful, happy. After our meal, he jokingly began to talk of sport, and among other things, after we'd settled up our reckonings, he said as follows. He said this: truly, gentlemen, you're very welcome, and I can't think when, upon my word, I'm telling you no lie, I have seen a gathering here that looked so spry. No, not this year, as in this tavern now. I think, or I'd think you up some fun if I knew how. Let's have some fun instead of traveling silently, each one riding his or her horse, or mare or stallion, or whatever. Silent, we can pass this time, or we can amuse ourselves by doing such and such. And as it happens, a thought has just occurred to me. I have an idea, and it will cost you nothing. You'll just tell a story, or maybe 4 stories, as we said before. On my word, you're off to Canterbury. You're traveling to Canterbury. Well, Godspeed. Okay. Blessed Saint Thomas. Thomas, if you remember, answer to your need. You know, all those pilgrims are going to ask him to heal them. Okay. And don't doubt, I don't doubt before the journey is done, you mean to while the time in tales and fun. You can spend the time in tales, telling stories and fun. Indeed, there is little pleasure for your bones, riding along and all as dumb as stones. Instead of riding silently, as dumb as stones, you can spend the time telling some stories. So let me then propose for your enjoyment, just as I said, a suitable employment. I have an idea. And if my notion suits and you agree, if you like my idea, I promise to submit yourselves to me, playing your parts exactly as I say. Tomorrow, as you ride along the way, then by my father's soul, and he is dead, if you don't like it, you can have my head. I'm sure, 100% sure, you'll like the idea. Hold up your hands and not another word. If you like the idea. Well, our consent, of course, was not deferred. We agreed. It seemed not worth a serious debate. Nobody argued. We all agreed to it at any rate. We all liked the idea. And bid him issue what commands he would. My lords, he said, now listen for your good. And please don't treat my notion with disdain. Don't contempt my idea or my proposal. This is the point. I'll make it short and plain. Each of you shall help to make things slip by telling 2 stories on the outward trip to Canterbury. That's what I intend. And on the homeward way, on your way back to journey's end, another 2. So each single person is supposed to tell 4 stories, 2 on the way to Canterbury, 2 on the way back from Canterbury. Tales from the days of old. And then the man whose story is best will see whose story is the best. That is to say, who gives the fullest measure of good morality and general pleasure, who amuses us the most. He shall be given a supper, a free dinner, paid by all. Who will pay for this dinner? All of the others, or all the other pilgrims. Here in this tavern, in this hotel, in this inn, in this very hall, in this very place, when we come back again from Canterbury, and in the hope to keep you bright and merry, I'll go along with you, I'll accompany you myself, and ride all at my own expense. I don't need any money from you, and serve as a guide. I'll guide you. I'll be the judge. I'll be the guide and the judge. Okay, and those who won't obey shall pay for what we spend upon the way. Okay, you all should or must obey me. Now, if you all agree to what you've heard, tell me at once without another word, and I will make arrangements early for it. Of course, we all agreed. This is the narrator, maybe Geoffrey Chaucer himself. In fact, we swore it delightedly and made entreaty too that he should act as he proposed to do. We agreed to every single word he proposed. Okay, we liked the idea very much. We didn't utter a word. Become our governor, in short. Become our governor for this short trip, and be judge of our tales and general referee. You'll be the referee or the judge, and set the supper at a certain price. Prepare the free supper, okay, for the winner at certain price. We promise to be ruled by his advice. Come high, come low, unanimously thus, we set him up in judgment over us. We agreed that he will be the judge over us all, and we agreed to accept his judgment. More wine was fetched that night, the night before they set off on their journey. The business being done, the deal is sealed. Okay, we drank it off, and up went everyone to bed without a moment of delay. Early next morning, at the spring of day, up rose our host and roused us like a cock. You know, cocks sing loudly in the early morning and make people wake up, gathering us together in a flock. And off we rode at slightly faster pace. And there our host drew up, began to ease his horse and said, "Now listen, if you please. My lords, remember what you promised me." He's reminding them of the promise again. If even song and matins will agree, let's see who shall be first to tell a tale. And as I hope to drink good wine and ale, I'll be your judge. The rebel who disobeys, if anybody disobeys me, however much the journey costs, he pays. He'll pay the cost of the journey. Now draw for cut, and then we can depart. The man who draws the shortest cut shall start. Let's see, draw for cut. There was something like a pass or something. Draw lots, as when pulling straws from a punch. The person who pulls the short straw is it. Okay, so the person, he had some straws. The person who will pull the shortest one will start or shall start. And this is the end of it. We have some critical reading questions. If I ask you, which of the pilgrims would you most like to meet and why? Which of these characters would you like to meet and why? Waiting for your answers. Ahmed Matar. Ahmed?
Yes, Master.
Can you see the question? Which of the pilgrims
Master.
like and why? Ahmed, Can you see question number 1?
الصوت بيقطع من السماعة حاجة.
Okay, can you see question number 1? Ahmed?
Yes.
Can you answer it? Which of the pilgrims would you most like?
Yes, yes. Hello, Mr. Can الصوت صعب. Mr. The internet is so bad. 1 second.
Ahmed, can you see question number 1?
Yes.
Answer it, please.
The night.
Why?
I would like to meet the knight.
Wow.
Because of his bravery. Because he's so brave.
Okay, because he's brave, and Ahmed would like to meet him because he's brave. Myrna, what's your opinion? What about you? Myrna? Thank you, Ahmed.
I'd like to meet the maybe the doctor.
Why?
I don't know. Because he knows all the treatments to all
The disease?
diseases and ailments. Yes.
Maybe. Thank you, Abdurrahman.
The wife.
The wife of Beth?
Yes.
Why?
She's an independent, strong woman.
Okay, and she got married 5 times. You want to be the 6th? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe.
No.
Abdurrahman. Huh? Who else, guys? I want you all to participate, please. Dahrug, can you hear me? Ahmed?
Yes, sir.
Which
Yes.
of the pilgrims, which of the characters
Yes, Mr.
would you like to meet and why? The question again, Ahmed. Which of the pilgrims would you like most to meet and why?
1 second.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time, Ahmed. I'll come back to you later.
Wife of Beth.
The wife of Beth. Okay, why?
She's an independent woman at a time when most women were shackled
Okay.
to their menfolk.
Maybe. Okay, she is an independent, a strong, independent woman. She was cheerful. She liked to chat all the time. She was smiling all the time. Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Another person, Gamal, your opinion? Gamal? Jimmy? Danielle? Dan? Danielle, go ahead. Can you hear me?
The man of law.
The man of law. Why?
The man of law.
Why?
Because he was a successful lawyer and he wants justice.
Okay, thank you. Right, let's move on to question 2A. List characteristics of the nun. The nun, remember the nun? List 3 characteristics of her or of hers. The nun. Is anybody ready to answer? You can go to the summary, which I posted on SMS, and refer to it. So I have 2 raised hands, Myrna's and Danielle's. Who else, guys? I need new faces. Nada, where are you? Nada, Hania, Mariam, Kareem, Gamal, Peter. Such guys, where are you, please? Take part in the discussion, please. Shahd Ibrahim, Yaouta, Yusuf. Okay. This is Danielle. Excuse me?
Peter.
Peter, okay.
Peter.
Go ahead.
Peter.
Yes, Peter, go ahead. We need
Okay. Which one was it?
the nun. Question 2A.
Your sound isn't passing. 2A.
I can't see.
List three characteristic of a nun.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, I'm thinking.
No problem. I told you you can refer to the summary I posted on SMS. It's open in front of me now. I read her positive points and negative points. Okay, her emphasis is on appearance. She was maybe showy. She is more worldly than a nun should be. She was worldly, not very religious. She would rather, a nun should be religious. No, this nun was worldly. She would rather be a lady in court than a nun. She wasn't a good nun. She would be a lady in court than a nun. The good points, she speaks French, though not the high Parisian French, a very proper and careful eater who dips her fingers in the sushi, or she was courteous, friendly, and emotional also. Okay, let's move on to question 2B. What details does Chaucer include in his description of the nun to make gentle fun of her? If you go back to the character of the nun, how much time do we still have before the end of the session? I think more than 10 minutes. What description? Let's go up to the character of the nun. I'm not sure whether it will be easy for us to find it here. The nun. There was a merchant. And do we have the nun here? I can't find it easily. Okay, somebody was raising his or her hand. Put it down. No problem.
حضرتك مستر نادتني من شوية.
Okay. Okay, I got lost. Nada, go ahead. Nada. Sorry. Nada, can you hear me?
He creates emphasis on how she has many traits that. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Nada.
Mister, can you hear me?
Yes, Nada.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, so he creates an emphasis on how she has.
Okay, thank you.
He creates an emphasis on how she has many traits that she's supposed to have as a nun.
Okay. And again, he said, in the summary of her character, she was supposed to be a lady at a court or any palace, living, let's say, a wealthy life than being a nun, because nuns are not interested in life pleasures and so on, but she was the opposite. Let's move on to let's pick a question here. Look at number 5, please. Look at the last question here, 5B. What does the sketch or the description of the knight suggest? Where I showed the knight because he was the first described person, but it's easy to find the knight. What does the sketch of the knight suggest? Where some of the virtues promoted by medieval society. And in brief, describe the good points about the knight. I'll go up to the knight quickly to help you. I have 3 raised hands. Thank you very much. Let's go up to, it's a long way up. Just a second. Here. Where is the knight? Maybe. This is the squire, but the knight must be the one before him. Just give me another minute. Yes, I think the knight starts here. No, this is the second part. Yes, here, I think. Here, line 35. Type. Luigi, go ahead.
He's brave and generous.
He's brave and generous. Yes.
Yes. He's well experienced in fights with honor.
Yes. Thank you. So these were the characteristics of a knight at that time in these or in the Middle Ages. If we read the good points about him, in the negative points, we don't have any. In the summary, I posted an SMS. The good points, let's read them together, or I read them for you. Battles for religious wars. He battles for religious wars, which means he was a religious person. He was brave, distinguished, strong, truthful, generous, modest, not boastful, not vain, yani revered, noble, wise, chivalrous, Christian, which means religious, widely traveled a lot, and well received in foreign courts. Okay, so all these were the characteristics of, or the accepted characteristics of knights at that time or in Middle Ages. If we go back to the end. So we've come to the end of the prologue. And as I said before, we're going to do two stories. Do you remember them? The story of the Canterbury, the wife of Bath, and the story of the partner. The partner's story, and here we have the partner's tale. We're going to study it, and then the wife of Bath's tale. This is later, inshallah. This is partner's tale. We have roughly 400 lines, I think, or so. And this is faster. Yes, 300. Or yeah, about 300 something. And then the wife of Bath's tale, and it's about 400 lines or so. Here, 400 something. Yes. Thank you very much. I'll end the session now and see you tomorrow. Any question before I end the session? Guys, any question before I end the session?
No, Mr. Thank you.
Right. What you need to do here, you're not responsible for this long prologue because it's more than 800 lines. You need to study the summary I posted on SMS. Maybe you'll be asked to describe a specific character, okay? And of course, you know that there are some famous characters like the partner, the wife of Bath, the knight, the, let's say the 5 guildsmen. You can describe them all together, remember them, okay? It's just 7 pages. It's much simpler and easier to study. Thank you very much.